Good afternoon and welcome along to Shannon McNamara Park in Doombeg for the second of this year's Clare Intermediate Football Championship semi-finals that pits the familiar foes of Corofin and Kildysart against each other once more. And I say once more because of course these sides first clashed in the opening round 6 weeks previously, with Kildysart storming back from a 5-point second half deficit to pip their North Clare opponents to the post by 13 points to 12. However, the one side that they arguably didn't want to meet again was a scorned Corofin, but it certainly makes for an intriguing backdrop for today's semi-final, as St Joseph's Doorb Airfield, who were 2-11 to 7-point victors over Shannon Gales at the same venue yesterday, await today's winners in the decider in 2 weeks' time. Joining for me for analysis and to ensure I suppose I'm not lonely anyway is in the stand is Michael Considine, and we'll get his thoughts on the juicy semi-final pairing in a moment, but let's first get the team news. And we're going to base it on the opening round game between Corofin and Kildysart. So from that, Corofin make 2 changes. So in goal is Kieran Carkle, number 2 is out John Rees, and in his place is number 8 Owen Clancy, and the rest of the full back line is 3 Brendan Keane and Damien O'Loughlin. The half back line is, as you see it there, it's Colm Rice, Fionn Clancy and Shane Malone. A midfield pairing of number 21 Killian Mullins and Kevin Keane. A half-forward line of Sean O'Brien, number 12 Gerald Cahill is centre forward, and number 14 Gerald Kelly is out on the left wing. And a full forward line of 13 Robin Mounsey, 22 is Dermot Cahill, and number 15 Jamie Malone. So the 2 changes from the starting lineup is John Rees, number 2, and number 11 Killian Clancy are out, and in their place come number 21 Killian Mullins and number 22 the minor Dermot Cahill. And for Kildysart, there's 3 changes from the team that faced Corofin in that opening round. And we'll give you the team now. In number 1 is Robert Ayres. Number 2, John Ginnan doesn't play, and in his place is 25, Kieran Ayres. Number 3, Kieran Leahy. Number 4, Brian Ayres. And a half-back line of Stephen Sheehan, Conor Donlan and Rory McMahon, who's the joint captain. A midfield pairing of Kieran O'Brien and Keith O'Connor, who's the other joint captain. And a half-forward line of Mikey Donlan, Shane McNeilis. And number 19 comes into the side in place of Conor Hassett, that's Neil O'Connor. And a full forward line of Dermot O'Donnell, Seamus Casey and Emmett McMahon. And Michael, I suppose it's that initial first round meeting that gives this game the real extra edge, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, look, it was an outstanding game for the first round of a championship, especially with the big long layoff that was there. It was a great game and only a point in it at the end. But look at, I suppose, if you look at both teams, there's quality through both teams. But I suppose the standout thing for me on is both sets of forwards.
Yeah.
We really have class in the forward line on both ends. So I'm hoping it'll be a shootout, even though it's probably going to be a game of 2 halves. There's a nice strong breeze here blowing towards the car park, the scoreboard in Doombeg. So it's probably going to be a game of 2 halves. Is Jamie Malone going to stay inside for Corofin when they're against that breeze? Is Emmett McMahon going to stay inside for Kildysart? It's going to be intriguing, really looking forward to it, and there's going to be nothing in it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just naming the teams here, and we just mentioned that, you know, if there's any problems with the coverage this evening, that the game will be shown and deferred, but at the moment it's going to go live, and we'll go live for as long as we can, Michael. We'll just pick out the 2 full forward lines in particular. You've got Robin Mounsey, who's got 8 points in the championship, Dermot Cahill, who's a very, very exciting minor, a dual player obviously as well, and Jamie Malone, who's got 112, and we know what he can do from a county senior perspective. And then you've the full forward line for Kildysart of Dermot O'Donnell, Seamus Casey and Emmett McMahon, who's their top scorer with 11 points so far. And who knows, we've been told to line up, but Ger Bobby Kelly has to be very close to the starting lineup as well.
As you said, Ger Bobby started the last leg against Stockholm and did quite well, so look, he'll definitely play a part at some stage unless he's injured. I hope he's not, because what a fabulous player. But if we look at the full forward lines, as you have spoken about, there's probably a bit more experience in the Corofin one.
Yeah.
With Jamie and Robin Mounsey. Okay, Dermot is young at a full forward, but I think 3 19-year-olds in the full forward line for Kildysart, which is brilliant for them going forward, but exceptional. But whichever defence can do better against the attack is going to have a big bearing at the end of the day.
Yeah, we must say there is a very, very strong breeze. It's very blustery here, and it's blowing towards the clubhouse, so if you can imagine that in Doombeg. Barry Kelly from St Joseph's Milltown is the referee for this evening, for this afternoon's game, and a very intriguing one. We don't expect either number 15, let's say, to stay inside the full forward line.
No, look at, we all know Jamie Malone for what he is, the superb footballer he is. We expect Jamie to be getting onto the ball and driving at Kildysart, especially against the breeze. I can't see him now with the breeze. You would expect that Jamie's going to be left in there because he is a dangerous forward. They might even bring out Robin Mounsey a small bit and leave Dermot and Jamie inside. It's going to be intriguing to watch. But again, a lot of it's going to come to the setups in the side, and whoever gets the tactics right, who's going to win the toss, who's going to play with it. Do you play against it? Do you lose the first 10 minutes? If you play with the breeze, you're settling into the game. It's a lot of big calls, but look at whoever gets that right is going to be in the intermediate final.
We just stop for the national anthem. So that's the formalities all the way, and as they line up here, it's interesting to see that Corofin are playing with that strong breeze in the opening half. Kildysart are facing into it, and Kildysart are bidding for a fourth final in 5 years, while Corofin just came down from senior last year. They won it last in 2015. So we're ready to go here. Barry Kelly is about to throw in the ball, and you've got Emmett McMahon has made his way out to midfield from starting lineup. So changes already here, changes aplenty, and we'll Michael keep you abreast of all the other switches as we go along today. Barry Kelly.
Come on now, Eddie! Wing forward.
Yeah, just giving a
Wing
look
back,
down.
sorry, he's gone wing back.
And the ball is in, and up high goes Emmett McMahon, and he does get the ball down to Keith O'Connor. Keith O'Connor playing it down, and Stephen Sheehan on the left wing. He's got a bit of time, and Kildysart are going to slow this down as much as they can. They're playing into a strong breeze. Conor Donlan getting that ball away to Seamus Casey. They filtered a lot of men back, as you'd expect in the opening stages here. But it is Seamus Casey that makes a burst. He gets past the first tackle, but is stopped in his tracks by Shane Malone, and it allows Corofin to counter-attack. Corofin, off they go. And again, it's Shane Malone on the ball. He made the interception, and now we go to Sean O'Brien. Sean O'Brien feeds in Gerald Cahill, and Gerald plays a foot pass all the way across to Jimmy Malone, who is starting in that corner forward position, and he's been tightly shadowed by Shane McNeilis, great man with county experience. And Dermot Cahill is the first shot at the post. That's just going to drift to the left and wide. It's a first wide for Corofin, but they're going to have a lot of shots at the post, and they're going to have to push on, you'd imagine, here and get as much benefit as they can out of this breeze, Michael, because it's very strong.
Definitely on, and as we said, playing with the breeze, they'll have to get it on the board early. It's definitely a 4 to 5 point breeze. Jamie is staying inside as we expected. That was going to happen. So we'll just watch and see how it plays out.
Robert Ayres really against that breeze gets a really long one into the opposition half, and it's Seamus Casey that picks up the break. He's going to try and play it inside. A little bit of a slip there from Dermot O'Donnell, and it allows Corofin to come out with the ball. Corofin, here we go, and it's Dermot Cahill who's come out around halfway to collect the ball. Killian Mullins gives it off to Gerald Cahill. Gerald again going with the foot pass, and again he's looking for Jamie Malone, and who better man, he's full. And when Jamie Malone got the ball, he gives it off to Killian Mullins. He's fisted, it comes off the crossbar. Oh, it goes over the bar, and Killian Mullins, the Corofin man, has opened the scoring here. Look, they've come off the crossbar there. It was a bit strange.
I'd say the back extension is just behind the crossbar, so I'd say it bounced out after that. But a very good score. Could have been a goal. It was a great move, but it's a score, and we see Michael O'Connor's delighted here. His Crushing native is off the mark.
And Rory McMahon collects the kick out and gives it off to Conor Donlan, and Conor Donlan makes his way forward, gives it off to Seamus Casey, who's playing that roving roll around the middle. Kieran O'Brien is on it. He loses possession, and Corofin very tenacious in the tackling in these early stages, and off they go again. And it's Shane Malone. Shane Malone passes the 45-metre line, gives it to Gerald Cahill. He's been involved in every attack so far. He's going to have a pot at the post this time, and it goes straight over the bar, and it's a great score for Corofin. They got off the mark just a couple of seconds ago with Killian Mullins, and now Gerald Cahill has opened his account for this afternoon, and he's got 2:13 for the championship so far. He's their top scorer, and it gives Corofin, that's a very good and a positive start for Corofin.
That's a brilliant score by Gerard Cahill, and it was all his own doing. He won his ball, he cut in across. I suppose what's noticeable here is Shane McNeilis is playing the sweeper role for Kildysart, so that's, we'll watch how that goes. But Corofin have a great start, in fairness.
They have, and they look like they're going to pick up possession again, and they do. And it's Kevin Keane that collects that ball and gets him underway. It's Colin Rice that just makes a bit of ground, and he's just about to come to the 45-metre line, gives it off to Diarmuid Cahill. Diarmuid Cahill playing a deeper role than we would have initially expected, but it is allowing that Jamie Malone stays inside. An intricate series of passes, and Killian Mullins is through again. He gives it off to Jamie Malone, just has to check back. There's a lot of Kildysart men funneling back there. So Jamie Malone using all his experience to get out of trouble. He gives it off to Shane Malone. Shane Malone off to Jamie. He's going to have a pot at the post, and if Gerald Cahill can do it, Jamie Malone certainly can. And that's 3 in a row for Corofin, and 3 in as many minutes. We're now 4 minutes into this semi-final, and it's 3 points to no score.
A fabulous score, in fairness, by Jamie again. They worked it up along the stand side here. Jamie just pulled out into the pocket and whipped a great score over the bar.
And here we go again, and as you'd expect, Robert Ayres is in no hurry to take out the ball. Maybe that's because Emmett McMahon is down, and that's very, very worrying for Kildysart, Michael, because he's their marquee player essentially. Yeah, under 20 this year, and also on the Clare senior panel.
He's going to be an awful loss, and it looks like tis a top of the hamstring or the glute area, so hopefully he'll be okay. But in fairness, Corofin have really settled in well. Maybe Kildysart should be a small bit more negative, because there is a stiff breeze there. It's definitely a 5 or 6 point wind.
Well, we play on regardless. Emmett McMahon is still receiving attention, although he's back on his feet now, because he has to go and defend, because Corofin are making the burst again. It's Fionn Clancy and it's Killian Mullins. Fionn Clancy again, and he gives it off to Brendan Keane, who's come out from the full-back berth. And there's Diarmuid Cahill looking for the incisive pass over the top, and he does give it in. Gerald Kelly just inches away, but Robert Ayres very, very strong to get there just in the nick of time. It does fall back to Jamie Malone, and that is a superb score. His second in a row. It's Corofin's fourth. Oh, that is a really impressive score, Michael.
That's as good as you're going to see anywhere in the country. In fairness, there were nearly 2 carbon copies, but this one was actually closer to the sideline. Again, Jamie on his favoured right foot turned it in up. Brilliant score for Corofin, who have really started this game on fire. They really have the initiative at the moment.
They have. We're just over 5 minutes gone, and there's already been 4 scores for Corofin. That is a fairly efficient, and there's an interception here from the kick out. There's a bit of a slip, and it leaves Gerald Cahill. Oh, it's a tremendous save, and a very vital one for Robert Ayres. That could have been a really big blow for Kildysart, but Robert Ayres saved the day.
He did, in fairness. It was a poor kick out from Kildysart. They coughed up possession. In fairness, Diarmuid Cahill went straight at him. Maybe he should have sidestepped the goal and went around him, but in fairness, it was a brilliant save. Did very well, and it's kept his team in the game, because a 7-point deficit at this stage would be a big task.
It would be a big task, but Corofin do have the opportunity to extend their tally, because they've got a 45 here. Although we're just testing out a few of the footballs first, just to see which one will suit best. We've got 2 in the field at the moment, and gives it off, and it looks like it's Kevin Keane going to take this one. He's a big man for such a young man, and he's got a fair boot on him as well. He does have a strong breeze at his back, and Corofin are looking to build on that very impressive start. So only 6.5 minutes gone here. They've got 4 scores. Kevin Keane looking for a 5th. He'll have the distance, and he has the accuracy, and it is a 5th score for Corofin, and it does add to their very impressive start that sees 3 different players getting on that scoreboard so far.
Surely, Owen, if we look at it here, surely Kildysart are going to have to double up on Jamie Malone. They're going to have to do something. If Shane McNeilis is marking him now, surely they've got to get him some help. He's one of the best forwards in the country we've seen playing with Clare. So they've got to sacrifice someone. They've got to go set up, and we've got to double up on Jamie, because if they don't, the game will be gone from them.
Yeah, and it is drifting away slightly, and it's Corofin on the attack again. And again it's Diarmuid Cahill. He finds his older brother Gerard, and Corofin are off again. Here they go. Just caught up in the tackle. Good impressive defending from Rory McMahon. It is Shane McNeilis that gets him out of a small bit of danger. And here they go. This could be a first attack for Kildysart. Emmett McMahon, who has recovered from that early injury, and he gives it off to Kieran O'Brien. Kieran O'Brien is making ground. He's going to have a shot. It's half blocked, and that should be easy fodder for Kieran Carkle. Kieran, he just checks his run slightly, gives it off to Shane Malone, and here go Corofin. He hand passes over the head and collects it again. Oh, but that's intercepted. Seamus Casey now is going through. He's surely going to get their first score, but no, that's gone to the left and wide. It's Kildysart's first attack and a first wide. They could have done with that settling score, Michael.
Yeah, they could have, in fairness. It was all Seamus Casey's making, in fairness to him. He intercepted the pass and he broke down a goal, but unfortunately it just curled wide at the last second.
It did. Colin Rice collects that kick out and he gets it off to Owen Clancy, and here gets it back again. So Colin Rice, the Rowan man, is on the 45-metre line. That's going to be cleaned up by Rory McMahon, the vice captain. Gets his side underway. Does a 1-2 with Kieran Ayres, and Kildysart need to get something going now. And here's the man that's probably going to have to do it. It's Emmett McMahon, as aforementioned. He does get the pass away to Seamus Casey, another of those exciting players. He got the goal against O'Curry's, a vital one at that. And here goes Diarmuid O'Donnell. He's key compatriot all the way up along at under 8, but tenacious defending from Corofin, and they managed to win back possession and come out with it. And it's Damien O'Loughlin on the ball. O'Loughlin sprints out from his own 45-metre line, and again it's Diarmuid Cahill is that link man in thing. It's Robin Mounsey managed to turn his man. He wants to get himself on the scoreboard, and he does, and it's a 6 point for Corofin. 6 in a row, and they're really flying it, and it's the spread of scores even, Michael. They're not just depending on one. There's so many threats there for Kildysart to have to try and put out.
I suppose we alluded to it before the game started on. We said we were excited by both forward lines, and in fairness, the Corofin guys have really stepped up. Brilliant play again, another super score, but quality ball going in as well on, and it's hard to defend against.
It is, and it's this man that is doing a lot of the link work so far. It's Diarmuid Cahill, who's only a minor. He played on Wednesday night in the minor quarter-final, and here go Corofin, and Jamie Malone side-footed, and it is a goal! It's a soccer-style goal. A bit of a mix-up in the Corofin defence. Again, Diarmuid Cahill was instrumental in it. Robin Mounsey was there as well, but if you want a man, Michael, to try and finish it, it definitely would be Jamie Malone on top of your list.
Outstanding. It was an opportunist finish. In fairness, he poked it to the ground, but to be totally fair, and let's be honest about it, Diarmuid Cahill is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
Everything is going through him for Corofin. I know he's only a minor, but he's definitely the standout guy at the moment. Everything is going through him, and what a superb foot pass into the inside line again. It's really an uphill struggle now for Kildysart.
I suppose it is early, and they are against a strong breeze, so they're not going to panic yet, and they shouldn't. There's only 10 minutes gone in the game, and here, if they are to get things going, it's Keith O'Connor, the vice captain, is trying to inspire his side. He gives it off to his midfield partner, Kieran O'Brien. Kieran O'Brien kicks it wide. Oh, and it's Barry Kelly has issued that it's a free out for Corofin. Everything seems to be going with them. The wind is at their backs. They're 9 points clear. We're only 10 minutes gone, and Corofin, the wind is in their sails and at their backs at the moment. And we're about to get going again. And here we go. And it's Owen Clancy on the ball. Clancy just held up a small bit. Kieran O'Brien and Corofin get another free, just to settle things down. It's been a really, really frantic start. Here's Gerard Cahill playing that foot pass, and who else would he look for but Jamie Malone? He's already got 1-2. That just could sail over his head. But Michael, they've taken your advice. There's 2 men on him now.
Yeah, look, it was bound to happen. It's an uphill struggle as it is, and if Corofin get a couple more, it's going to be a long way back, in fairness, because they're trying to double up on him, but Gerard Cahill and Diarmuid are making head in as well. So look at, in fairness, we spoke about it before on about the forward lines. Corofin have the breeze, they're making use of it, but they're winning a lot of 50-50 challenges as well, which will worry the Kildysart management.
And here we go again, and it's Corofin that are dominating here. They've picked up possession once more. Out to Colin Rice. He's about to start another attack, and some impressive foot passing so far, and that one does find Robin Mounsey inside. He gives it off to Kevin Keane. Oh, this looks like a free out. Just looked like Fionn Clancy overcarried the ball. And it is a bit of a relief for Kildysart to try and break this siege. And it's Rory McMahon that gives it back to the goalkeeper, Robert Ayres, just to try and start an attack, or even just settle things down. They just need to get on possession, need to get a bit of composure in their game, because even a settling score at this stage would be a good boost for them. They're in their own 45-metre line and they're going to build slowly for this one. And here is Rory McMahon. He missed that opening game against Corofin through injury. He's back in the lineup now, the vice captain. And he'll hope to try and inspire him to try and get up to mark. They're doing a lot of lateral passing but not really making much ground. But now they have one. It's Kieran Lee. Lee is about to pass inside and that's kind of short again, but it does be picked up by Kieran O'Brien. Kieran O'Brien gives it back to his full back and gets it back again. That's a good passage of play. They've had a lot of play. They could do with a score. Emmett McMahon just looked to go outside the right post. They needed that one, but it's their second wide. Both sides have had 2 wides apiece. But Corofin have got 1-6 to the tally. They are playing with a strong breeze, if anyone is, and it's 13 minutes gone here. We're near enough to the water break. Probably can't come soon enough for Kildysart, who have another man down. But at the moment, it's Corofin on the attack. Diarmuid Cahill looked to be pushed out over the line. He was, and it's going to be his own free. A push, yes, from Diarmuid Cahill. And look who's coming through the middle. Kildysart are failing to mark up. Sean Clancy was looking for the ball, but instead he gives it to Killian Mullins and gets it back. And here goes Diarmuid Cahill. He's past the first challenge, he's past the second one. He's going to have a shot at the post, and it's just going to go to the left and wide. It's
Great effort there again. In fairness, he looked to me as if he was caught in the shoulder. He could have had a free end, but he's having a massive influence in the game for a minor. He really, really is having an outstanding game.
And considering this is his 3rd game in the space of a week, he played in the hurling semi-final that went all the way to extra time last week. He played in the minor quarter-final during the week. He's showing no sign of fatigue anyway.
The fountain of youth on, in fairness. In fairness to him, you wouldn't think you'd think he'd play a game in the final. He's so fresh looking, but look, that's the way it is, and he's just one of these guys that can do that, which is great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. We wouldn't play 3 games in a year, but anyway, we won't worry about that. Here we go again. Kildysart just trying to mop up at the back. And they're off on their travels again. There's Kieran O'Brien. Here we go. There's a bit of a break on. They've had a few more bursts in the last couple of minutes. Brian Ayres. But again, they're just losing that ball in the tackle and probably not advised to go into the tackle. Corofin are a big, strong, physical side. Kildysart do get it back and they're trying to get something going now. And Seamus Casey, he's got players outside him. One of those is Mikey Donlan, but he's going to give it to Kieran O'Brien. Kieran O'Brien is challenged. Does win a free. 65 metres out, he looks for Casey, and Casey is a man that can do something special for Kildysart. He's going through, he's still got the ball, and he's going to have a shot. Oh, it's just over the bar. Great persistence there, Michael, and Seamus Casey is one of those players that Kildysart will be looking to try and get themselves back into this.
That was a great run, in fairness. He made it all himself on. A brilliant run and a great score, in fairness. Shame, again, we spoke about the Kildysart front forward line. They need to get him in, they need to get Diarmuid O'Donnell into the game. Keith O'Connor needs to get a bit of emphasis around the middle of the pitch, but look that'll give him a bit of a raise now just at the water break.
Yeah, the water break is here, and there is a change just before the water break. Kildysart, the full-back, Kieran Lee, has to go off with that injury, and in his place came number 23, Ian Flanagan. A vital score, I suppose, Michael, just at the water break, but in the main it's Corofin that would be obviously much the happier side.
Oh yeah, Corofin have been excellent, in fairness. They have been determined. How many times have you said that Kildysart have lost the ball in the tackle to Corofin, trying to break through the middle? Kildysart is not as physically strong. Kildysart have got to open it up, keep the space, but Corofin will be ecstatic. 1-6 after 15 minutes. Absolutely brilliant. And quality scores. Do you know what I mean? Okay, the goal, maybe it came from a slight bit of a mistake that Jamie pounced on and finished, but they've kicked some superb points. Jamie Malone's too.
Yes.
Gerard Cahill, Diarmuid Cahill. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant play and really quality ball going in, but maybe in the last 4 or 5 minutes Kildysart seem to maybe have doubled up in Jamie, and we had spoke about it on, they seem to have doubled up a small bit in Jamie, so if they can keep Corofin at 1-6 now, maybe get a couple of points on the board, it'll make a very interesting second half. But a big 15 minutes coming up now, is we're going to be an awful lot wiser at the end of that 15. If Corofin kick on and kick 4 or 5 more scores, it's going to be a mountain to climb at that stage. So the next 15 is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, the water breaks are so funny. They're a new addition to it, but Kildysart really craved this water break. You know what I mean? If this had been, let's say, last year, they would have had to go to the half time, and you never know what kind of a scoreline would have been at that stage. So it's vital for them to maybe get a regroup, maybe resettle, maybe change some of the game plan as well. They're after losing their full back.
How many games have we seen that has changed at the water
break?
Yeah. All over the country, even the games we watched on television. How many have we seen that when the water break came, the emphasis completely turned around? So look, that's just the way it is. It's the times we're in. Teams have got to deal with it. So it's going to be very interesting now to see the next 15.
Yeah, they'll hope to try and get back into this game. They'll take the positives out of it. They're only 8 points behind. They'll have a strong breeze to come in the second half. And also, Robert Ayres did make a great save from Gerald Cahill as well, so they could have been a lot further behind. We're going to restart after water break, and it's Kieran Carkle that licks it out. Doesn't look like he has a strong breeze. He's back. Doesn't hit it as far as Robert Ayres would. Seamus Casey looked to have thrown the ball, but he gets away with it. And Emmett McMahon that tries to. They're looking for their second point in a row. Emmett McMahon's going to go have a go for it, and that is a superb score. If Jamie Malone can do it at one side, Emmett McMahon certainly can inspire his side as well. 2 in a row for Kildysart. Every score is vital at this stage.
Fabulous score, but I think you were right when you said it was a slight bit of a throw. He got away with it, but look at dim of the breaks you get. Fabulous kick from Emmett, as we have seen him do several times. Fabulous kick, but Kildysart need him now, and as I said to you, if they can kick on and get a couple more, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Here Corofin are back on the attacking side. There's 18 minutes gone. They're 1-6 to 2 points in front. To see can they try and add to that scoreline. Jamie Malone is just having a tough battle with Shane McNeilis. McNeilis wins it on this occasion and wins the free as well. That'll be a good boost for him. And here's the new man in. It's Ian Flanagan come in for Lee, the full-back. And Flanagan, that's just not good for his first pass. But Seamus Casey does make a great effort at getting it. He's held onto the ball but manages to get it away on the ground again. And he does win a free somehow. The Kildysart on the one. As Mikey Donlan looked to be pushed in the back, but no, they play on, and it's Keith O'Connor looks inside for Diarmuid O'Donnell. Oh, that's a superb interception from Damien O'Loughlin, showing that bit of experience, and he wins the free out. And a good piece of defending there, Michael. Vital.
Damien O'Loughlin, it's not his first time either. It's his second time he dispossessed Diarmuid O'Donnell as well, the last time he got the ball. So that's absolutely brilliant to defend. And he's doing a super job on Diarmuid O'Donnell, who is an outstanding talent up front.
He is. Kildysart have come more and more into this game, but they have to watch out for Diarmuid Cahill, who's again spearheading the attack here. Good tackling from Rory McMahon means that Jamie Malone doesn't get on the ball, and that's what they're trying to do, cut off the supply to Malone. And it's Kildysart that are on the attack, and a counter-attack, and it's Shane McNeilis who gets much relief from his duties of marking Jamie Malone. Gives it to Diarmuid O'Donnell, he looks for the mark, he gets it, and it's a chance for Kildysart to hit their third point in a row.
It's a tough kick on, in fairness. That'll be a superb score, especially when the breeze is kind of coming. He's going to really have to judge the breeze. It'll be a brilliant kick if he gets it, but it's going to be a very, very tough kick.
It is for a left footer, definitely, in the left corner, but if anyone can do it, Diarmuid O'Donnell can. Just hits it a little bit short, and Kieran Carkle picks up possession, gives it off to Fionn Clancy, and away go Corofin again. It's Owen Clancy on the ball, gives out to the left wing to Gerald Kelly. Gerald Kelly scored a crucial goal in a relegation semi-final a couple of years ago against Kilrush, and he gives it off to, and look, it's Robin Mounsey on the ball, has a shot at the post, just a little bit wayward, and it goes to the right and wide. Oh, and it looks like that Gerald Cahill has gone down with a hamstring injury when he released that one to Robin Mounsey, and we spoke about him, McMahon's influence. Gerald Cahill would be a huge loss to Corofin.
Huge loss, and it looks like he's after pulling his hamstring. Looks like he's in trouble now, so he's going to be a big loss. So it looks like Corofin are going to have to be making a change now. He was having a big influence in the game, really strong on the ball, and he's going to be a big loss if he's to go off for Corofin. But look, they're working on him, so hopefully he might be okay.
And look, these are the swings and roundabouts of all these games. It looked like Corofin were going to run away with it. Kildysart have come back into the game, and Carol Cahill is back on his feet. He's going to give it a go anyway. Whether he's back to full fitness or not, we'll soon find out in the next couple of minutes. But meanwhile, it's Kildysart on the ball. It's Conor Donlan. Conor gets it off to Rory McMahon, and they're going to build slowly again. But it's worked from the last two outings. They've got 2 in a row, one before the water break, one just after it. And here goes Keith O'Connor. Keith O'Connor, the vice captain, looks for his midfield partner in Kieran O'Brien. He's surrounded by 4 or 5, but manages to get the ball away. It looks like it's Casey. Casey on the ball. Seamus Casey gets it off to Mikey Donlan. Mikey Donlan again looks for Casey, and he scored the first point. Can he get their third? It's gone away. It just took the wind, and it just trailed away. It's a disappointing effort for Kildysart. It means that it's their third wide, but you'd expect him to score that when you
But that's twice now. He already happened in with the first attempt he had. The same thing happened. So maybe he should have tried to keep it down and try to drill it over the bar instead of putting up for the win to catch it. But since the water break, Kildysart have really come into it.
They have, but look who's on the ball. It's Jamie Malone, and Jamie Malone has 3 men around him. He's hit it high. He's certainly gone for height. And it's gone to the left and wide, and that's Corofin's 5th wide after such a clinical opening. They're now starting to hit it, kick a few wides, and it's given Kildysart some bit of hope, because it could have been, it was 1-6 to no score at one stage. It's now 1-6 to 2, and the clock is ticking down, and Kildysart are going to have a strong breeze for the second half. We're 22 and a half minutes gone here, and Kildysart on their way. It's Stephen Sheehan. He gives it off to Kieran O'Brien, and away they go again. Sheehan gets back the ball, and again he's looking for that Roman Casey. Casey finds Emmett McMahon. Oh, that's a brilliant score. Just a superb effort from Emmett McMahon, and it's Kildysart's 3rd, and it's a 3rd in a row, and it's starting to, the complexion of the game is starting to turn a bit, Michael.
The famous water break again on, but a brilliant score again. It had everything. Stevie Sheehan broke, gave the ball, took it off the shoulder again, gave it to Emmett over the bar. A superb kick, nearly a carbon copy of his first score as well.
Yeah.
So Kildysart are back in the game.
The first quarter we spoke about Diarmuid Cahill link play. Look at Seamus Casey in the second quarter as well. He's been really influential, hasn't he?
Yeah, brilliant, yeah.
And here we go. And it's another opportunity. It's a chance for Kildysart's 4th point. If Mikey Donlan can convert, and he can! It's 4 in a row for Kildysart. And it means that the gap is down to 5. An inspirational score for Kildysart, and they've got the wind in their sails. They might have it at their backs, but they've got it in their sails, Michael.
Since the water break, they've been excellent, in fact. But again, we've seen a driving run or two from Keith O'Connor. McNeilis won a 50-50 ball that went in with Jamie Malone. They've settled into the game now, and now we really have a battle. The next run up to half-time is going to be very interesting.
It is, and here Kieran Cartley gets the restart. Corofin need to get their hands on the ball, and they will on this occasion, because it's John Clancy who has it, and he wins a free. Just to settle things down for Corofin again. Gives it off to Owen Clancy. Owen Clancy looks inside, that's where Diarmuid Cahill is. Oh, he just can't make it. Relief for Kildysart, who managed to pick up the ball. And Brian Ayres gets it off to Rory McMahon. He finds the new man Ian Flanagan. And it's a chance for Kildysart to build again. Things not coming off as they were in the opening quarter for Corofin. But they're not going to panic, they are 5 points clear. It's Kildysart on the ball. He's got a man outside here, Robert Ayres, and it is Shane McNeilis. He's been pushed a little bit further up the field from his original position of marking Jamie Malone. And he's going to kick it long. It's a good ball inside, looking for Diarmuid O'Donnell, but Corofin have been alert to that danger, and they managed to get 2 players across, and one of them wins the free. Shane Malone is eager to get this back underway. They want to utilise this breach, take full advantage of it as much as they can. And here they go again, and they're going to build to Sean O'Brien. Sean O'Brien gives it off to Diarmuid Cahill, and he gets it back. Sean O'Brien looking for Malone, who's now been marked by Rory McMahon, and Malone gets a burst of speed. He's going to hand pass, and he does get a score, and a vital one for Corofin. It's their first in this second quarter. But Jamie Malone has got 1-3 to his name, and you can't take your eyes off him, Michael.
Yeah, in fairness, Fionn Clancy done very well there. In fairness, he was fouled, but again it was a direct ball into Jamie, who made a super run again and had the presence of mind to fist the ball over the bar from a good angle. As you said, Kildysart have released Shane McNeilis a small bit now, but maybe that they've come into the game now, they should maybe try stay in the game now for as long as they can. But look at Kildysart have settled now, and it's a lot better game.
It is, and here's Diarmuid O'Donnell. He has already missed a free, but gets it out to Mikey Donlan. Looked to be tripped, and he is, and it's a free in for Kildysart. The angle's going to be acute. This is Diarmuid O'Donnell territory, Michael. This is the better side for him than the mark of the other side.
This is definitely, but again, it's a tough kick into the breeze. It's really out near the sideline. Maybe they should look at, maybe they have nippy forwards. Maybe Casey should come and take it, or give it short and try work it in, because that's a tough kick now. You know, and as you said, playing against that stiff breeze, maybe he will score it.
Well, he certainly made a great effort at it, and it is a fantastic score. No commentators curse there for Diarmuid O'Donnell, who gets Kildysart's 5th point, and it means that the gap is back down to 5. And what a game we have here in Prospect, because we're just 27 minutes gone, 3 minutes of normal time remaining until Kildysart have the breeze for the second half, and it leaves the game on a knife edge, even though there is 5 points still in it at the moment. It's double scores, but Kieran Cackle kicks out the ball, and he kicks it straight to Kieran O'Brien. Kieran O'Brien wins a free from Barry Kelly, and it's got another opportunity for Kildysart to add to their tally. They've outscored Corofin by 5 points to 1 since just before that water break. Great confidence booster for them, and it looks like it's going to be Kieran Ayres is going to take this one. Kieran Ayres, he got a free against Corofin in the opening round, and he's a very good long-range
actually
kicker.
Surprising that Emmett McMahon is not hitting it, you know, so maybe this man must be a good kicker if Emmett is not hitting it, because Emmett, I know, was in a small bit more, but he kicked 2 brilliant points
Yeah, he did.
from around the same position, so look at, yeah.
He did. Kieran Ayres. That's looking on Tom. Waiting to drop short. And Kieran Cackle raises highest, and looked like it was going to square ball. So off we go. Corofin on the ball. They just need to get it up this side of the field while they have this wind advantage. Owen Clancy, a ball over the top. He's looking for Fionn Clancy. Fionn Clancy's got it in the corner forward position. He's got 2 men inside him. One of those being Jamie Malone. He looks for him. Jamie Malone is now on his 3rd different marker. He's been held up and he wins a free. And it's an opportunity for Corofin to have that 2-score gap, which is going to be 6 points.
What a brilliant run by the centre back.
Yeah.
In fairness to him, he went straight up, and it was a lovely foot passing over the top. And again, he did the intelligent thing. He gave it to Jamie, who is the danger man, and Jamie was fouled rightfully and a free in. And
Diarmuid Cahill.
Diarmuid kicks it over.
Diarmuid Cahill's 5th point of the championship and his 2nd free, and it allows Corofin to have that 6-point gap once more. We're almost into the 29th minute, but as it stands at the moment, Corofin are leading with the aid of a strong breeze, I might add, at 1-8 to 5 points. Robert Ayres much more eager to get the match underway at this stage, because Kildysart have gathered a bit of momentum, and it's Mikey Donlan that gives it, looking for Casey, but this time it's Brendan Keane. Brendan Keane gets it back, luckily at the second attempt, gives the Shane Malone, and it's their defenders that are trying to lead from the front here and getting forward as much as they can. Jamie Malone wins another free. This is his 3rd marker in the opening half. It's a sure sign that Kildysart recognise who the danger man is.
Yes, in fairness, as you said, he's 1-3 scored already. He's a handful. And look, it's impossible to mark him when he's in form like this. In fact, a lot better defenders than Kildysart have tried it all over the country, and they haven't managed him. So, in fairness, look at he's been exceptional. But Corofin are clever. Every time they get a chance, they're giving it to Jamie, which they're playing to their advantage.
Absolutely. We're just coming up to the 30-minute mark. This is an opportunity to put 7 between the sides. Every score needed with this breeze. And Jamie Malone, that is a superb score. It's 1-4 for the afternoon. It's 216 for the championship so far, and it means that Corofin go into a 7-point lead as we're about to enter injury time. There's no indication of how much injury time there will, but there's at least 2 minutes for that water break. So Robert Ayres will get underway. We've got a couple of more minutes of this first half to go. Ball bouncing around there. Seamus Casey's in there, but it's Corofin that win the ball. And it's Colin Rice that comes out with possession. He's about to pass the 45-metre line. Looks for Diarmuid Cahill, who's surprisingly unmarked at this stage. Diarmuid Cahill looks up, checks his run, and just delayed in too long. Took too much out of it. And it's going to be a free out for Kildysart, who looks like they've got another man down. They've had a few injuries in the opening half. They've already seen a man go off.
Says it. Like Keith has took a bank to the head, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just going back to that last one there with Diarmuid Cahill, in fairness, he was closed down very well. I think also Kildysart have noticed that he was creating an awful lot for them, and in fairness to him, they have marked him an awful lot closer now, and they've done quite well in him since the water break. But definitely Jamie Malone's 2 scores have really given the initiative back to Corofin.
They have. Keith O'Connor is back on his feet, and it means that Kildysart are on the attack again. Gerard Cahill is limping meanwhile for Corofin, so that might be a change at half time, but we won't worry about that for the moment, because we're just coming to the 2nd minute of injury time, and it's Shane McNeilis who's made his way up the field. Looks to play the ball inside, just over hit the hand pass, and the ball drifts so wide. It's Kildysart's 4th, but it was a good opportunity to eat into that deficit, which at the moment stands at 7 points. We're into the 32nd minute and it's Colm Rice. Maybe it's a final attack for Corofin to bolster this lead ahead of. It's going to be a tough second period against the conditions, but if anyone's going to do it, they will, because they're a good running side. And here's one of those aforementioned runners. It's Jamie Malone. Jamie Malone undercooks this one a little bit, which is surprising for him so far, but it means the Kildysart are able to break again. It's Brian Ayres coming out with the ball. Gives off to Conor Donlan and gets it back again. We've seen a lot of good running from defenders in this opening half. He gives it off to Kieran Ayres. Into Shane McNeilis. He plays the ball back out for Keith O'Connor, and look who it is. It's Emmett McMahon. This time doesn't get the desired effect of a third point, and it's Corofin that pick it up. Shane Malone trying to get them out of danger, and it's off to Colm Rice. He's opposite wing back. He plays it to Dear McCallan. Kildysart to be happy enough if he has the ball in his own half back line. But Corofin still have possession, and there is a man outside there. It's Kevin Keane on his own. He's got past the 45-metre line. He's going to be problem, but he puts it into Jamie Malone. Jamie Malone tried to put it inside to Gerald Cal, but gets it back fortunately and has an opportunity to put it over the bar, and he does. Jamie Malone has got 1-5. Every one of them quality scores, Michael. It's just a joy to watch, I suppose.
It's absolutely brilliant, in fairness. What a beautiful score. And for anyone watching, he's kicking off both feet. He's kicked two with his left, he's kicked two wonderful points with his right. Absolutely fabulous to watch, in fairness to him. His movement and everything he does, so he's a joy to watch. But look at the initiative is constantly with Corofin now at this minute, so 110 to 5 points up, so it's been intriguing second half. But look at for us looking here, Corofin are definitely in the strong position.
They are. They lead at half time by 110 to 5 points. It wasn't looking good midway through that second quarter. What were your impressions of we're joined here by David O'Brien as well. We've got an all-star pundit lined up here this afternoon, but David, what did you make of that opening half?
Corofin have been very good, actually I don't think the breeze makes any real difference to them, because they like to carry the ball. They have a lot of mobility around the middle and they'll carry it. Whereas playing against the breeze really seems to really hamper Kildysart. They want to move the ball a little bit quicker. They want to hit their forward line, so they will really benefit from in the second half from having it. In the first half, Corofin will be delighted. Barda switched off for maybe 5 or 6 minutes and they got conceded the 3 or 4 points, but they have been very impressive. Especially Damien McLaughlin's been very good in the full back.
Yeah.
Jamie's been excellent inside, and actually it hinders him a little bit to be isolated inside. He'll come out probably out in the half-hour line and he'll look to take people on, and it's harder to double mark him out there. So Corofin, even though there's a strong enough breeze there, you still think they'll get 4 or 5 points in the second half, and then it puts real pressure on Kildysart, because they're going to have to come up with probably a goal or two, because they're going to have to hit the equivalent to about 14 points.
I suppose in saying that, we started the opening 5 minutes and Corofin had 1-6 on the board. It looked scary for Kildysart at that stage, but they managed to settle.
Yeah, they did, and Emmett McMahon kicked 2 brilliant scores. Donald got one as well, and Jim O'Donnell got one as well. So they've come into the lot. They started winning a bit of ball in the middle. I suppose the sad thing for them is that Emmett is having to win him outside,
yeah,
and they also need him inside as well. They're probably going to put him inside and look to isolate him. They look like a team that it'll suit them better to be playing with the breeze. They've probably a little bit more kick passing than Corofin. Look to carry the ball as much as possible, and they will carry it. And playing against the breeze won't affect them an awful lot.
What did you make of, let's say, the dynamic of, let's say, they met in the first round and having to meet the same team again? It isn't ideal. We've seen it go the opposite ways in both the hurling games that it's happened in. Tulla and Scariff played in the opening round. Tulla won it. Scariff came back and beat them when they met again. And yesterday we saw the Bridge in Aerogue, the Bridge managing to win for the second time after winning the opening round. So there's a dangerous opponent when you're coming back through the back door, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. And I think the big thing is that every team analyse games now, but the thing is, you seem to analyse a little bit more when you're beaten.
Yeah.
And you go back over it and you learn a lot more in a defeat. So that's probably the advantage that the teams that are beaten in the first round is they'll really go to town on where that fine margins went against them, whereas the team that win kind of gloss over maybe a little bit of the things that went against them. They don't think about it as much, so that's probably gives a little bit of an advantage, and especially when you have 2 teams like this that are so close to each other that it's hard to beat anyone twice in a year.
I suppose the uncertainty really, Michael, was that you had Corofin. They were maybe a little bit rusty in that opening round, and people said, what test did they get since they played Liscannor and beat Wolf Tones quite handy? 13 point was the average winning margin between both games. But while they mightn't be the test that they desired, it got them a chance to build up that confidence and have the kicking ability, which we've seen to their good effect today.
Yeah, look at it. It's as I said to you about the first round. It was coming after a massive delay. everything was stopped, you know. Everything was stopped, and nobody had any challenge matches. You had no league campaign behind you, so the first game really was see where you are, you know. And you even look at the senior championship. Cracklow lost the first round to Lissy Casey, and they came through the other side of it. So Corofin the same. Wouldn't have a whole pile done with the pandemic, so it probably suited them to get games in and get their system up and going. But look at, when you have the set of forwards that Corofin have, it's no surprise that they're here, and the quality of play that they have given. You have the two Cahals, even though it looks to me now that Gerard's in a bit of trouble with his hamstring, and I think he's getting treatment here on the sideline. If Corofin are looking to a final, maybe they need to take Gerard off to mind him, because playing on, he could really do serious damage. But his younger brother is a phenomenal player. You've Jamie Malone, you've Robin Mounsey is playing very well as well. Do you know what I mean? They're playing really, really well, and it's definitely theirs to lose now. So it's going to be intriguing. But as David O'Brien has said here about Kildysart could do with another McMahon. They could do with one outside and one inside, but they're going to have to put him in now. They have no choice. They're 1 to 5 points down. They have to go for broke now, and Casey's going to have to play closer to goal because he is a good player. So they're going to have to go with Casey O'Donnell and probably Emmett McMahon in the full forward line.
Maybe bring on Ger Bobby.
He's definitely going to play a part, but maybe bring on Ger Bobby, but maybe get Ger Bobby on the ball on the half forward line that can ping the ball into the guys. So look, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be intriguing, but it's definitely Corofin's to lose in my view.
Yeah, just before we go back, because it looks like the teams are going to come out for the second half, David. We know Corofin, they're 8 points up. They're obviously going to try and just tack on a few scores and maintain that cushion. But what a big half this is for Kildysart, considering they were beaten in 3 of the last 4 finals. It's their 7th semi-final in 8 years. They've kind of built a lot of the building blocks. They were playing the Kildysart Cup this year. They won minor C's, I think four minor C's in a row between 2015 and 18. They won an under 21C, they won an under 21B last year. The building blocks have been there. Everything has been ticked, but getting up to senior. How huge a half is this for Kildysart?
This is huge because they have all that work done, and I suppose the difference is, like, realistically, everyone would say they deserve to win the intermediate, but the thing is, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you take, and right now Corofin are the teams that are taking it, and Kildysart are just going to have to go. They've went to the well a lot over the years, and last year's one was heartbreak for them. This will be even worse because they've kind of had to sit back, and the Kildysart Cup would have been a massive advantage to them this year, but they never got to play it, and that was the big thing for them. Like that, it's little things like that, but they just looked a little bit off the pace for that first 15 minutes. Corofin have a lot of players, a lot of pace. Diarmuid Cahill has been very impressive. As Michael said there, about Road, he's in trouble. He doesn't seem to be able to move inside, and they're probably better off taking him off, because it's not like, I'd say he's probably gone, it's not like he's the free taker that they have to leave him there. They've Jamie, they've Diarmuid will kick him, all these lads will do it, so you're probably better off just taking him because he didn't look like a threat inside. But it's massive now for Kildysart to go, and they're just going to have to try and win the next 5 minutes, even if it's only by a point, just win that 5 minutes.
Well, it makes for an intriguing second half, and we're about to get underway here because Kildysart are back on the field. They're eager to try and get back. They're 8 points behind. It's 110 to 5 points. There is going to be a change for Corofin because it looks like Gerard Cahill is leaning up against the wall. He's very crestfallen, as you can imagine. He would have wanted to play on. He's a warrior, but he just had a bit of a handshake with his younger brother Diarmuid to say, "You do it for me," and that's what the family connection. We've seen Joe here, Michael, as well. There's a great family of really good competitors in the Cahils.
Of course there is, but look at it. To be fair, if Corofin have ambitions of getting through here today and getting to a final, leaving him on, he mightn't play no part in the final. At least now he has some chance to start his recovery now and do the work now. But if he plays on for another 15, he could do awful damage. And look at it looks like his number 18 that's coming as is it
Connor
Lean. So
another minor.
So look at, I think it's a correct decision by Cullum and his management team that when you're injured you can't play. And look at, they're in a good position. So they're definitely making the right call in my view, because they will need him in the final.
Connor Lean, what a sub to bring on, because he may be only a minor, but he's a big, physically strong player, and he's playing. And we're about to get things going for the second half. Harry Kelly about to bring, and we've 30 minutes to see who's going to play St. Justice Door Bearfield in the final in a fortnight's time. It's 110 to 5 points to Corofin so far. Let's see what Kildysart can do with the aid of a strong breeze. Harry Kelly just making sure that everyone's outside the 45s. That's not going to happen, because the minute he throws in this ball, they're going to rush towards it. But anyway, it's good to start with with a bit of protocol. And here we go. And Kelly does throw it in. Killian Mullins loses out to Emmett McMahon. And it's Keith O'Connor that gets it off. And Kildysart are on that first attack. It's a loose pass and it allows Corofin to settle in there against the breeze, but they're going to be full of running for this second half. And it's Sean O'Brien is one of those runners. He's got a player out on his left. That's Killian Mullins. He finds Killian Mullins. He got the opening score of the first half. He opts to play it inside to Diarmuid Cahill. And Diarmuid Cahill extends Corofin's lead. We were looking for Kildysart to push on, but it's Corofin that get it. And look at a crucial start to the second half.
Score again off his weak, supposedly weaker footed on this young fella has any weakness in fairness, but it was a great move again up along the opposite side to the stand here in Dunbeg, and a great score again, well worked.
Absolutely, and from the kick out, Conor Lean makes his first interception. It was a really, really strong kick out because it made the opposition 45-metre line, but Conor Lean makes an immediate impact after coming on for Gearóid Cahill in this second half. And here we go again, it's Corofin on the ball. They're looking to control matters. They're 9 points up. There won't be any panic, but they're going to counter-attack again against this breeze. It's Colm Rice. He's looking for that perfect pass for Diarmuid Cahill, but that's not going to reach the intended target. As Brian Ayres picks up and tries to get Kildysart underway, they're going to need a really sharp start to this second half. Stephen Sheehan just caught in a bit of possession, but he managed to get it off to Emmett McMahon. He's one of those players that they'll be really looking to drive him on and lead him for the second half. He kicks this one off his left, and what a score that is. He kicked two off his right. That's the first one off his left. It's a third point of the afternoon from Evan McMahon, and a really, really vital score for him to get back and running.
I tell you, we're really being treated by the two number 15s here today on. What another fabulous kick by Evan McMahon, this time off his, again, so-called weaker left foot. Brilliant. So, between Jamie, 115 at one end and Emmett at the other end. Emmett is playing out around the middle. I suspect at some stage Kildysart are going to have to shove him closer to goal.
Yeah, but for the moment they're going to have to try and build and try and get back into this game. Shane McNeilis, eyes went up, and that's looking for Neil O'Connor at the edge of the square. He does win possession, gives it off to Mikey Donlan. There's a lot of height in that. Looks like it's going to drift away and wide. Kildysart are looking for a 45, but Barry Kelly says no, and it's Kildysart's first wide of the second half. Probably going to need every score at this stage, but for the moment they're not going to add to their tally. It's 1-11 to 6 points. We're only 2.5 minutes into the second half. Plenty of time for Kildysart to get back into this one, and they have possession because Kieran O'Brien rolls highest to collect that ball, gives it off to Seamus Casey. Seamus Casey is again looking for O'Connor at the edge of the square, but that's a little bit over hit, and it allows Kieran Carkle to come away with possession. The two O'Connors are big men, and one of them, Neil, at the edge of the square is going to be an obvious target for Kildysart in the second half. But meanwhile, we're at midfield, and it's a free for Corofin. And a chance for them to slow things down, and maybe the first card of the afternoon as well. Barry's just taken a note, but he isn't going to produce a card at this stage. And Corofin have possession. It's Brendan Keane, the fullback, has it just directly on midfield, right here in front of the stand, and right here in front of Colm Clancy as well. Hits a Gary Owen almost, which the forward line won't thank him for, but it does break kindly for Diarmuid Cahill. He does have a man inside, that was Jamie Malone, and a crucial interception for Ian Flanagan, because that could have been game over if Jamie Malone had burst through at that stage. He gives it out to Mikey Donlan. Mikey Donlan passes the 45-metre line and manages to find the giant captain. That's Keith O'Connor. Keith O'Connor, the ball just got a little held up, but he's a strong man. What's Barry Kelly going to do here? Because both of them were fighting for the ball, Michael. They're still, the whistle's gone. The whistle's gone, and nobody wants to give it up.
Way out of it for Barry now. He's probably going to hop the ball.
He is indeed, but you can be sure it's probably the same two that are going to go in for it again. Definitely Keith O'Connor anyway, and he's in there with Kevin Keane. The ball is still bobbling around there, but it manages to come out with Corofin, and Barry just avoided the challenge himself there. And Corofin are underway, and it's Owen Clancy giving it out to Gearóid Kelly. Gearóid Kelly manages to shrug off his challenger just at the halfway mark. Managed to get going, and here goes Conor Lean. Just loses possession slightly. It's Global Rustlins. He's only on the field since half time. The minor, again, one of those to play a strong role in Corofin Rowan's victory over Heineken Lamona in the minor during the week. Comes back to Lean to Jamie Malone, and why wouldn't you? And there he goes again. He picked up where he left off in the opening half, and it's Jamie Malone that has 1-6 to his name.
super run there by Robin Mounsey, cut in, gave the ball across, and young Lean popped it to Jamie, and Jamie does what Jamie does. Jamie finishes it off. In fairness, again, that's his second fisted point of the day.
Yeah, he's kicked it from both feet. He's kicked it. It was side foot of a finish, and the substitute Ian Flanagan is down. He's only after coming on midway through the opening half for fullback, and it's another worry for Kildysart. They have a player warming up. It looks like it's Michael Eustace. Taz is about to make his way onto the field, but for the moment we're just going to hold up play. But it is a strong lead for Corofin. It's 1-12 to 6 points. Jamie Malone has 1-6. That is the difference between the two teams.
He definitely, look, there's no it's not, I'm not keep going back over what we said, but we did allude to it before the game, is how are they going to deal with Jamie Malone. Look, in fairness, he's absolute tremendous class, and he has shown it here again today. But I'm just wondering in the back of my head, is Kildysart, Ger Bobby must be injured that we haven't seen him.
Yeah.
You know, because really he's a man that could do it now.
He could do with him, and he certainly made the impact against Corofin in the opening round, because on that occasion he came on and got 3 points. Neil O'Connor got 2 as well, and that was the turnaround. Corofin were 5 points up just after half time. Kildysart managed to outscore them by 9 points to 3 in the last 25 minutes. They'll need a similar run here, and an even greater one if they're to get back into the game this time around, because the gap at the moment is 9 points. But they're going to try, they're not going to give up. That's one of Kildysart's main traits. That's the reason why they're in their 7th quarter semi-final in 8 years. But that's not going to add to their tally, unfortunately, as it's gone wide for Kildysart's second of the second half, and their 6th overall. And that's Conor Hassel, who looked to be come on at half time for Kildysart as well. And Michael Eustace is onto the field. Flanagan does make way, unfortunately, after that injury. And it means that there's now 3 changes for Kildysart. We're only 7 minutes into the second half, but a disappointing one for Flanagan, who had played quite well, made a great interception there just a few minutes ago. But it's 7 minutes gone. It's Corofin 1-12. It's Kildysart 6 points. Here we go again, and it's Jamie Malone on the ball. He's now on his 5th different marker, and it doesn't seem to make any difference who's on him. A great shoulder there, and Michael Eustace has made an immediate impact there, and an impact in more ways than one, because he got a good shoulder and he's about to give Kildysart the run, and it's Seamus Casey, a man who's did 1 close to goal. A good piece of defending from John Clancy, and it means that the ball is gone wide.
Yeah, wide ball there, in fairness, Seamus. He just lost it at the last minute, but we were kind of watching what was developing with Jamie Malone off the ball and Stephen Sheehan. But look, there was nothing in it. It's nothing you won't see in any game. But in fairness, Kildysart, to me, at this stage, they seem to have Neil O'Connor put the edge of square.
Yeah.
They seem to be looping in. I don't know, is it a bit early to be trying that? They have the footballers. Maybe they should try do what Corofin done in the first half and try run them ragged in there. But look, that's what they've decided to do, and we'll see what it pay dividends.
I think you're right. I think Ger Bobby must be. They would have surely gone for him at this stage. But anyway, we'll play on regardless, because Sean O'Brien is about to try and extend Korofinski. He's made a lot of ground. He's now 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Bit of a challenge. Barry Kelly not willing to make a decision, but Dear McCall does have the ball. He looks for scramble around there. Jamie Malone was in there looking for his second goal, but it managed to be a free out. A big relief for Kildysart. A little bit scrappy back there, but they are get out of danger. They've got a bit of relief, and it's Emma McMahon has the ball. Off to Stevie Sheehan. Can give them a lift. Rory McMahon gives it on to Kieran O'Brien. They're about to pass halfway, and here goes Keith O'Connor. He's just held up momentarily, but does manage to give it off to the aforementioned substitute Conor Hassett. And here we go again. Now Keith tried to find his brother Neil. He does win it. Gives an old shoulder for good measure as well. It gives it into Mikey Donlan. He's got 6 Corofin men around him. Oh, that's just going to go wide, and it's a 4th wide for Kildysart, and 8th overall. And you just kind of feel that Kildysart need to be kicking everything at this stage.
Mikey Donlan has done that twice now in the second half. He seems to lift his head when he's kicking the ball. His eyes on the ball and screwing off his boot, and it's going wide. But going back to that last incident, it was brilliant. It was a really goal-mouth scramble. In fairness, Corofin could have got a goal, but they got away with it. Kildysart saw, but Kildysart will definitely need a green flag or 2 now at this stage. It's looking like.
Absolutely, they've only got 1 point in the second half, and they're going to need to add to it if they are to get back into this game. But they do win the kick-out. They've been very, very dominant from restart so far, especially Corofin's ones. And it's Emma McMahon on the ball. He's 40 metres from goal, but he's 2 Corofin men for comfort. But look at that for a score. My. Wow. Emma McMahon, he got 2 beauties in the first half. That's 2 beauties in the second half as well.
He's a phenomenal talent. And again, off his so-called weaker left foot. What a brilliant score. Done it all himself, won the ball, checked out onto his left foot, 45 metres out and straight up over the bar.
We're going to have a substitution for Corofin here as well. Looks like John Keane is going to come onto the side, but he's going to have to wait because the game goes on regardless. It's 1-12 to 7 points. That's 8 points of a difference. A long way back for Kildysart. But they're going to definitely give it their best. Because here they go again. And here is the aforementioned Taz. Taz gets it off to Seamus Casey. Casey's got a man outside him. It's Mikey Donlan. Mikey Donlan gives it back to Casey. He got their opening score, but he's not going to get to the last one. That's going to be a 5th wide the second half and their 9th overall. And we are going to see John Keane. Just 41 minutes gone, and John Keane, another experienced member for Corofin, makes his way onto the team.
Fucker Rod Kelly, I think that's making way there.
Yeah.
Going back, that's a very poor wide again for Kildysart. It's kicked up in the air, a windy day, the breeze is going to catch it, you've no hope. So they've really got to sharpen up in that. And they're starting to mount the wides at this stage, as we can see. But they're poor wides. They're wides that should be scores.
Yeah, a small bit of composure is needed for Kildysart. They have a lot of time. There's just under 20 minutes to go in this game. So they do have a chance to get back into it. But a big relief for Corofin because Kevin Keane wins the kick out and he gives it off to Dermot Cahill. Dermot Cahill has been held around the neck. I don't think he's got any complaints about that one. And Dermot Cahill has an opportunity to set Corofin on the attack as well. Gives it off to Sean O'Brien. He swivels, looks for his options and finds Colin Rice here on the right wing. Colin Rice just checks back. They're going to be in no hurry. They've got a lot of men back here and it's Brendan Keane that restarts and they're going to go down the left wing this time. And it's Conor Lean, that minor that came on at half time, that's settled right into the side here. And here we go. Kildysart are going to have to come out and face them because Corofin are happy to hold possession and just work that ball around. They've a 3 players outside him here in the halfway. One of them is his brother Brendan. And he gives it off to Kevin Keane. Kevin Keane now gives it to Sean O'Brien, who has that little bit of injection of pace. He was the one that started that goal mouth scramble a couple of minutes ago. He couldn't find a finish on that occasion. And they're struggling to find one at the moment, but they're happy enough to keep possession. Gives into Kevin Keane in the corner. And that is slightly intercepted, and it's Emmett McMahon that bursts out. Kildysart are going to need him. He's held up in the challenge by Jamie Malone, the 2 15s coming together at that stage. They're normally at the other end of the pitch, but that's the way this game has gone. And we're now settled into the Kildysart half here. Corofin happy to keep possession, as we mentioned, but Kildysart are going to have to push out if they're the ones that have to chase this game. Oh, and a bit of an error. Barry Kelly said that Kevin Keane picked the ball off the ground and it gives Kildysart an opportunity, but they have very few players in the opposition half.
They've gone very defensive on in fairness, but they allow Corofin to dominate position. They're going to have to press. They need the ball at this stage in their hand.
They do, and they're only 2 minutes away from the water break, but they have a free just outside the 45-metre line. It's an opportunity to ease into that deficit, but it's a long way back. 8 points is a big gap here, even though they have the aid of a strong breeze. And it looks like Robert Ayres is going to make his way up the field to try and kick this one.
It looks like Emmett has his
Emmett McMahon, they're going to have a discussion about it. Yeah. Robert goes back into the goal. It's going to be Emmett McMahon. It's going to look for his 5th point of the afternoon and would be a first one from a free. And they're going to need every score at this stage. Here we go. He kicked one with his left a few minutes ago. And
super kick.
The shout of "let's go" means that he's happy enough with that one, and it's a first free for him, McMahon, but it's his 5th of the game, and it means the gap is back to 7. There's a bit of a roar here from the sprinkling of a crowd that have come into the bushes. But we're 44 minutes gone, and it's Kieran Carkle at the restart. That's coming towards the sideline. That's not going to be too happy from his teammates to have to go and defend it, but it's Conor Hassett that tries to get Kildysart up and running. They need a bit of momentum. And this man is going to provide it again. It's Emmett McMahon. He's going for number 6, and he gets number 6. That's 3 in a row.
Again from Emmett McMahon from the middle of the field. He's giving an exhibition of kicking.
We're just about to go into the final water break, and there is a bit of light for Kildysart. The gap is now back to 6. That's 2 kicks of a ball. But they don't look like they're going to score a goal at this stage. But if they can eat away with points, then you never know what could happen. And here they go again. Every player but 2 are in the Corofin half. As Kildysart tried to chase down this lead, and it's Dermot O'Donnell on the ball. Yes, they're quite an ambitious one. He looks for the Gary Owen, but at least he's got a big target in there, Neil O'Connor, but didn't seem to go for it, and that's just drifted harmlessly wide, and it's a 10th wide for Kildysart. It looks like we're going to have another change here before the water break. Looks like Fergus Killeen's going to come on. He does come onto the field for Corofin as Fergus Killeen is coming on. Maybe trying to freshen things up here just before the water break. And looks like Sean O'Brien is going to make way just on the 45th minute here.
Surely Owen, Kildysart are going to have to try get him McMahon on the ball. The man is on fire. He's putting them all from every angle. So at every opportunity, they've got to be saying, let's get him McMahon on the ball.
Unfortunately, as David O'Brien was saying, we could do with 2 Emmett McMahons. But 3D cloning hasn't gone to that extent yet. And meanwhile, it looks like Kildysart have it because Kieran Carkle wasted a little bit too much time for Barry Kelly's liking. And it's right down here on the 20-metre line where it's going to be a throw-in. And definitely one of the O'Connors is going to go in for this one. And he wins it. It's Neil, and he does win it. He wins a free. And again, it's a little bit of daylight for Kildysart that they get a bit of momentum going into this final water break. Dermot O'Donnell's going to kick this one. And it would be another way back. This would make it only a 5-point game when they go in with that bit of buoyancy into the final water break. But 47 minutes gone, that water break should be coming at this stage. It's Dermot O'Donnell's second free. And that is the water break. And it's suddenly a bit of a change in complexion, Michael. You know, Corofin looked to be running away with it there for a while, but now the gap is back to 5. It's 112 to Corofin, it's 10 points to Kildysart, and a small bit of anxiety, I'd say, for Corofin at this stage.
Yeah, I think what you'll see now, maybe Cullum and his management, they're going to have to bring Jamie Malone out the field.
Yeah.
His scores got inside, they're 5 points up. I think they're going to have to bring Jamie out around the middle. They've brought on John Keane to see can they get a grip around the middle. But if Corofin go back and back and back, they're going to draw Kildysart onto them. And maybe Kildysart are going to rule some of them poor wives they've had now. They could at least have 2 more points in this half, if not 3. And then there would be nothing at all in it. But it's still all to play for. There's 5 points in it. I had said earlier that it looked like that Kildysart definitely would need a goal. No, they mightn't. There's 15 minutes maybe. With there'll be probably 16, 17 minutes to go. So it's still all to play for. But it's going to be very intriguing. It's going to be interesting to see will they bring out Jamie Malone. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, Corofin just having a few words. They're going to have to raise their challenge here for the final quarter if they're going to secure a place in the intermediate final for the first time since 2015. They're just back down from senior. They'll be craving to go straight back up at the first attempt, because that's what St. Brecons did last year, and look what strides they've made. They're going to play Cracklow later on this evening, but in 12 months they've gone from being intermediate to a senior semi-final. Kildysart trying to get back into this game, and they're looking for a 4th final in 5 years. They have a little bit to do, but you'd imagine, Michael, if they can get another point or two, it'll ask questions of Corofin, it'll make them maybe defend and subconsciously go on the defensive a bit. And if you can get a ball into and feed off Neil O'Connor at the edge of the square, they're probably not getting the support play inside there that they deserve, because Neil O'Connor's winning ball, he probably doesn't have the outlets to give it to.
But still, to me, on watching it from here, is Emmett McMahon is going to be the key. If we get the ball to Emmett's going to get the chances. Would you gamble? Would you put Emmett in the edge of the square? Maybe he'd get a goal. They've got to try it at some stage. If it stays like this, if you go into the last 6 or 7 minutes and you're still 4 or 5 points down, they're surely going to have to gamble to get Neil O'Connor to the middle of the field, and maybe gamble and put Emmett in the edge of the square and try to get a couple of quality balls into him, because he can definitely cause damage as well if he's in there.
Well, we're in for an intriguing final quarter, and all those questions will be answered in just over 15 minutes time. Officially the clock says 49 minutes. And we got another substitution at the water break, and number 17, Luke McGrath's on the field, and again Kildysart win the kick out, and that's another bit of it. It's Kieran O'Brien that has won several kick outs here in the second half. What a warrior he's been.
Another chance for Emmett.
It is another chance. Nobody else is going to take this one but Emmett McMahon. He's on such scorching form at the moment. He's already got 6 points. Can he make it 7? Every one of these is crucial for Kildysart at this stage, as officially we're about to enter the 50th minute, but there's going to be at least 3 or 4 added on for those water break. 45 metres out. He shouts yes, we're shouting yes, and what a score that is for Emmett McMahon. That's his 7th of the afternoon, and it means that the gap is back down to 4. Kildysart have a bit of buoyancy here. They have a bit of momentum behind them, but they're still 4 points behind. Let's see what Corofin can react with, Michael.
Yeah, there's a small bit of frustration starting to come into the Corofin kick out now. But as we said, Jamie came out, there's a small bit of frustration. I can see it in clearing with the kick outs, and all the emphasis now is with Kildysart.
It is, and here's Conor Donlan making his way up from his marking duties on Jamie Malone. He gives it off to Diarmuid O'Donnell, but look how many Corofin men are back there. Diarmuid O'Donnell, what's this one going to? Oh, there was a bit of an anticipation from the umpire, but that's just gone to the right and wide. And unfortunately for Kildysart, that's an 11th wide of the hour so far. They're still in it. There's 4 points down. It's 1-12 to Corofin. It's 11 points to Kildysart. We're 21 minutes gone here. Corofin could even do with just winning the kick out. And who else but John Keane, the substitute, does do that. And he gets a couple of extra yards for good measure, because Kildysart tried to intercept that free, and now they're on the front foot again. They're going to need a score just to stop the rot, and it's Diarmuid Cahill on the ball. Diarmuid Cahill finds Conor Lean, his fellow minor. He feeds. And who's going to shoot this one? Fergus Killeen gives it back to Killian Mullins. Killian Mullins into the corner. And that's where Robin Mounsey is. Robin Mounsey, that is a superb score. Robin Mounsey gets his 2nd of the game. And what a vital time for that one. A great relieving score, and a vital one for Corofin, Michael.
It's one that was badly needed, in fairness. So it was a brilliant score by Robin Mounsey, who has been dangerous all evening, but Keith is out.
Yeah, it looks like Keith O'Connor is going to win a free here, and it does give Kildysart the opportunity to get back. There's 5 points in it. The tension is rising, the heat is rising. But so can Kildysart rise?
A few have slipped in, as you said, for the bushes, but you know, it has added to the occasion, and they're all well socially distanced. So look, I think it's added to the atmosphere, and it's really has been an outstanding game for intermediate football. If you didn't know about him, if you were told it was a senior match, you wouldn't know the difference. In fairness, the quality has been very good.
Absolutely, and what will add to the anticipation is if Emmett McMahon can kick this one. He's going to have the distance, but that looked to just go outside. There was no familiar roar from Emmett to say.
Not that time. And he just didn't catch it right, but Emmett has been outstanding. Look at, they're still in the game. There's still plenty of time left, but I still probably think they will need a green flag if they're to make the county final.
Absolutely, because they've kicked 8 second half wides, and you'd imagine that they will rue those if they're not able to get back into this game. They had possession, and they do pick it up again. There was a bit of hesitancy there in the Corofin side. And Corofin do win a free. Jamie Malone gets him underway and gives it off to Kevin Keane. Kevin Keane gives it to Colin Rice, and he looks for Diarmuid Cahill. Diarmuid Cahill is kind of shrugged by Michael Eustace, but still gets possession. He's going to try and kick this one. He does! And it's swaying one end, then the next. But Corofin just able to get those couple of vital scores to keep them ahead. And that's third point of the game for Diarmuid Cahill.
Phenomenal talent, Tone. In fairness to him, he had all the hard work through the ball within over the top, ran onto it, jinked back onto his left, and a brilliant score.
And here's Diarmuid O'Donnell. It's gone end to end so far, but Kildysart are going to have to make it show. And look, it's inside for Conor Hassett. Oh, that comes right back up off the upright. Look for a score. At this stage, you're nearly thinking he maybe should have put the head down and gone for goal. There's 6 points between the sides. He didn't get anything out of it because it came back off the upright. And there were 54 minutes gone here. It's Corofin 114. It's Kildysart 11 points. And Corofin crucially have possession. And here they go with Shane Malone. He fists it outside to Fergus Killeen. It looks like the ball is going to go over the line. And it is. Brian Shanahan said that is over the line. And it's a chance for Kildysart to resettle and regroup. They're 6 points down. For 6 minutes of normal time remaining. But you imagine there's roughly around 10 minutes to go in this one, and we enjoy every minute of it because it's been such a thrilling game so far. Here go Conor Donlan. Conor Donlan was the under-21 captain last year, and that ball comes back off the upright again. He almost felt kindly for Keith O'Connor, but the ball has gone wide.
Oh, what a chance. It just came off the post and Keith had just slipped out of his hand. Oh, it would have been brilliant if Kildysart had broke from and got a goal there, but it didn't work, and that's the way it goes. So it looks like now it was given as a wide ball, and it's definitely given as a wide ball, and one of the mentors he's not too happy with that decision.
No, a bit of remonstration there, but Barry Kelly won't mind that. He puts him onto the ground and will continue on regardless. There's 6 points in it. It could have been back to 3 there if fortune had favoured Kildysart. It hasn't so far, but there's still a bit of time to go. Kieran Carkle has kind of kicked it sideways. That won't help his own teammates. And again, it's Kieran O'Brien that gets on it. He's won an amount of ball. He's got Jamie Malone for company, but wins a free. Gives it back to Shane McNeese. They're going to need all his experience to try and get back to yet another final. They're desperately searching for a bit of inspiration at the moment. And here goes Keith O'Connor. Keith O'Connor, that's going to fall a little bit short. They're kind of desperation stakes for Kildysart. They're just going to have to compose themselves once more. And it's Corofin that get the counter-attack. And they're going to try and run this ball as much as they can, because every bit of running eats into the clock that now stands at 56 minutes. The free is given away for overcarrying, and it means that Seamus Casey and Kildysart are on the ball. Looked like it could have been a free there for a frontal, but regardless, we play on, and it's Killian Mullins that wins it back for Corofin. It's a free for Corofin, and you can imagine John Keane, with all his experience, won't be too eager to get this one underway. From one of the more experienced members to one of the younger ones, Conor Lean. But rugby style, he finds touch, and it's as good as a score at this stage, because
in fairness to him, though, he has done quite well. He went in, he had big shoes to fill when he went in instead of Garrod, in fairness to him, but he has done quite well. He has worked hard, in fairness to him, and he has done his job.
And another man that's played, this is his third match in the space of a week, but here go Kildysart. What have they got left for this final 5 minutes? Because if they don't come up with a goal or two at this stage, their season will be over, and it will be another heartbreaking defeat for them. But here goes Keith O'Connor. The giant captain is never going to give up to the end, and he's Dermot Donald, but there's 4 men around him, and it's Conor Lean that comes out with the ball. Damien O'Loughlin instrumental there once more for Corofin to win back possession, and here they go on the counter-attack. They're coming in numbers, and here goes Dermot Cal, the one man they want at the end of it. Looked to be his run checked, but at this stage Barry Kelly says he's just enjoying the game. He wants it to play on. He's not going to give any frees.
Well, you'll definitely be fouled if you get a free off Gary, in fairness. He's let the game flow, looking at what people want. It's been a great game. There's been no nasty stuff in it. It's been a brilliant game to watch, and Barry has done fine.
He has, and so far Kildysart haven't been as accurate in the kicking. They've kicked 9 second half wides. They had 13 overall. Will they rule those ones? Seamus Casey tried to get a hand pass again. And there is no free. He must have swallowed the whistle at this stage, because the game goes on, and there it is. The whistle is back. He does give a free out for Corofin. Frustration for Kildysart, but it means
Kildysart now have opted to run in with the ball, and they just don't have the physical strength to break through Corofin's defence, who have really got back to grips with things. Things went awry for them there for a while, but they really have got back in, settled down, and they look to be in a very strong position now.
And that was one of the fault lines for Kildysart. The first half trying to take the ball to the tackle, and they weren't coming out of the tackle with it. Jamie Malone is back down in the full forward line, because there is a bit of breathing space between the sides. We're just coming up to the 59th minute. There's still 6 points between the sides, and here is Kieran O'Brien on the ball. He's had a tremendous second half, but will it be enough to get Kildysart back into the running? They have too many men outside and only one inside, and that's not going to reach him, unfortunately. Now Keith O'Connor that's inside there at the edge of the square, but that didn't reach him, and it just drifted wide. It's the 10th wide of the second half for Kildysart and a 14th overall, and they're going to make another substitution here to try and rescue matters. Looks like it's John Murta maybe coming on.
It's Shane McNeese has definitely gone off. Looks like Shane. That's
definitely
Shane McNeese.
Shane McNeese has gone off there. Giving it all as ever. 59 minutes gone. Looks like Fergus Killeen has got a facial injury as well, and he's going to be replaced by John Rees for the final few minutes here. We're into just coming up to the 60th minute here, and here we go again. All the kickouts have come down this side in the second half. It's a little bit predictable, but Corofin on this occasion do win possession. Brendan Keane has been tossed around there, but No free. And now it's Kildysart on the ball again. Kieran O'Brien is off to Luke McGrath. And here we go again. It's Corofin coming out with the ball. They've got possession. Oh, that's perfectly waited for Dermot Cahill to try and get on possession. He shrugs off his marker. He'll be able to finish it here with a fisted point. He does, and that looks to be the clinching score for Corofin. 60 minutes gone. Dermot Cahill is the one man you'd want when legs are getting tired and the spirit is going down a bit.
Fabulous score again. He has been absolutely outstanding. In himself and Jamie now, to me, they have two as good forwards in the county as any club have. In fairness, absolutely brilliant. Again, the intelligent thing was coming in at the angle and fisted the ball over the bar. Absolutely outstanding. He has been brilliant.
Yeah, unfortunately for Kildysart, with Emmett McMahon going off, it has meant that they're going to have to look for inspiration. Look at this, it's 3-on-1 inside there, but the one wins it. Oh my Lord God. Oh, this is Emmett McMahon. Emmett McMahon at the edge of the square.
Earlier that if they needed a goal to put him in, and that was the chance. Unfortunately, it just went wide. But I am surprised that Kildysart didn't put him in earlier, because I know he was doing very well outside. But he has been inside, and he's the man that has created the goal chance after going in. But look, that's just the way it goes, and it just looks like now it's going to be Corofin's day.
Yeah, it just typified their afternoon really. Just close, but not just getting the score. 11 wides in the second half, 15 overall, and you just really can't afford to do that at this level. And Killian Clancy is a substitute
Dermot's coming off, I think.
And Dermot Cahill has definitely earned his rest. Although he's not going to get too much long of it, but he's got 4 points this afternoon. There's been a real live wire for Corofin. With 61 minutes gone, he's off. On comes Killian Clancy for the last couple of minutes, and it's Jamie Malone on the ball. Jamie gives it off to Colm Rice, and Colm Rice gets the ball through to John Rees. John Rees wins a free. He's normally in defence, but he's done a great job for Corofin there, because he's after winning the free.
Very important time, just kill the game again now. Leave it down, and Jamie will probably come and have a cut. Or else, I think this is Jamie, no, it's not.
Look, I'd say there'll be a while before they decide the free taker,
they're right,
because they're going to kill down the clock here as much as possible.
Malone, is it? Looks like Shea
Malone, yeah. Shea Malone, who again scored in a free in that opening round game against Kildysart. He's going to have a go here. As long as he kicks it dead, you'd imagine that's the most important thing here, because they're 7 points up. We're 32 and a half minutes into the second half. He's going to kick that one just to the right and wide, but not that important at this stage, because it's only a second wide for Corofin in the second half. And they're 7 points to the good, and it means that Kildysart have to rebuild from their own full back line. Michael Eustace giving it off. And there's looks like Luke McGrath trying to get on the ball. All the substitutes combine in there, but Corofin are scrapping. They've got a bit of buoyancy in their sails at the moment, because they're so far ahead, and there's frustration again for Kildysart, unable to get back in, but they're going to try and rebuild. They're going to try and use every bit of this clock. It's ticking down inexorably towards the final whistle, but Stephen Sheehan gets the ball in. He's looking for him at McMahon. That has drifted away to the wide. And it's their 12th wide of the second half, Michael. 16 overall. That's the difference, really. You're not going
to get to county finals with that amount of wides, in fairness. And like you think of the scores they got, a lot of them were out of this world scores from Emmett, you know, in fairness. So the percentages their scoring side has been poor, in fairness. They kicked a few of them up in the air. But look at, it hasn't worked out for them today, but I'm sure, look at, Kildysart will regroup and be back. There's no fear of that. Absolutely, but at the moment it looks like Corofin are destined to take their place in the final against St. Joseph's Door Bearfield. And here's one of the main men that has brought them there. That's Jamie Malone. Jamie Malone on possession. They're 7 points ahead. We're into the 64th minute of this tie. And there is the final whistle. Corofin are back into a first intermediate final since 2015. Their win on a scoreline of 115 to 11 points. Disappointment for Kildysart, but elation for Corofin. They controlled matters, Michael. You know, from that first whistle, they controlled matters, and you know they never looked back after that. Kildysart did have their moments where they came back into them, but Corofin led from start to finish, and you can't really argue with the result. No, definitely. Look at Corofin were worthy winners. Nobody can argue with that. The first quarter was absolutely outstanding. They scored 1-6, so that's where they probably won the game. They got the quality ball into both Cahill's, young Mounsey. Jamie was on fire on that period, but they've done the groundwork there to win the game on. If you look at the first quarter, that's where they've done the damage. But they're going now to a county final. Slight worry for me on one thing. Is when the pressure come on. They're kind of panicked in the kickouts a small bit. Maybe Cullum and the lads are going to have to do a small bit of work on the kickouts. They just seem to be everything was just coming to this side. Okay, John Keane won a few near the end, but there didn't seem to be a plan B. And even at the last water break, we seen there was a small bit of frustration. There was a small bit of arguing about it. So that's something they probably need to work on. That if they can, this time of the year, you're going to have a bit of a breeze in Clare from now on. So it's something they got to work on. Brilliant performance, brilliant scores. Jamie on fire. Diarmuid Cahill, brilliant. Outstanding for me also was Damien O'Loughlin. Brilliant, done a great job. And Diarmuid O'Donnell, Brendan Keane did quite well. So they'll be happy. They have stuff to work on, which is a great way to go into a final. But they have a cracking chance. It's going to be a 50-50 shot with Jordan Barefield. But probably need to just work on kickouts when they're under pressure to retain that ball when the pressure's on. But brilliant, totally deserved winners. Disappointing for Kildysart, and I think my man Ger Bobby was a big loss today.
Definitely.
He definitely must be injured or something was up, but he definitely there at the end when they would need a couple of quality balls put in. He wasn't there, but look, it wasn't to be. It's tough to take, but Corofin are to the final and 100% guaranteed that they deserve to be there.
Yeah, another year of heartbreak for Kildysart, but Corofin have room to improve, but they are happy enough to be in that final, and they're going to face St. Joseph's Door Bearfield in 2 weeks' time. But for the moment, they're through for a first final since 2015, and a final scoreline of Corofin 115, Kildysart 10 points. And we sign out from Shannon McNamara Park in Doonbeg.